Breaking news, folks. Iran has set its sights on new targets here in the United States. And if you thought that a war with Iran was not possible, chances are that they've already hit some of our key infrastructures. I mean, we rely on water and electricity for survival. So what happens when Iran cuts our access to those? Do we have to take a shower in a bottle of Aquafina? Do all of us go out and buy gas-powered generators at Walmart? Because a U.S. drone strike took out a couple of alleged Iranian proxy fighters, and well, things are certainly heating up.
The U.S. launching a drone strike, killing 5 Iranian proxy fighters in northern Iraq and stopping what would have been yet another attack on American troops in the Middle East.
The USS Carney, that's a guided missile destroyer, shot down 3 drones today in the Red Sea that were launched from Iranian-backed proxy forces in Yemen. And this was a complex attack, Pentagon officials say. It lasted over 7 hours. There were 4 other attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea. 3 different missiles hit 3 different commercial ships in the Red Sea. Now, here's how CENTCOM described one of those drones that Carney shot down. It said, quote, "The drone was headed toward Carney, although its specific target is not clear. We cannot assess at this time whether the Carney was the target of those drones." Now, of course, if you're the watch officer standing and watching the Combat Information Center aboard USS Carney, or the commanding officer on board, and you see a drone or some unknown object heading toward you, you're going to shoot it down. Then that's exactly what Carney did. Now,
U.S. officials telling CNN that an American warship shot down 2 more drones on Sunday, both belonging to Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen. Now, the U.S. destroyer downed the first drone while operating in the southern Red Sea. At that same time, the ship saw a ballistic missile that was launched and landed in the vicinity of a commercial ship that was operating in the area. Now, as the U.S. warship responded to the commercial vessel's distress call, it shot down a second drone that was flying towards both those ships. Now, this is just the latest in a series of incidents involving U.S. forces, not only in the Red Sea, but across the Middle East since the October 7th attack on Israel by Hamas. The Houthis have claimed responsibility for attacking Israeli commercial vessels in the Red Sea and said it launched ballistic missiles into Israel itself. The U.S. deployed 2 carrier strike groups to the region in an effort to deter Iran and its proxy groups from expanding the conflict, but those same ships have constantly come under attack from Iranian-backed groups like the Houthis. This raises the question about what more can the Biden administration do to protect American forces deployed to the region.
Do any of you guys remember when President Joe Biden said that Iran should be careful about their next move? It really looks like they're not listening to him at all at this point. But here's a question for you guys. Do you think that these groups are in any way intimidated by Biden's administration? Comment a quick yes or no on that one. And since you guys are already down there, make sure to smash the like button for the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you guys. So getting back to this whole entire deal with Iran, did you guys hear about the water system in Pennsylvania that was attacked recently?
A cyber group backed by Iran is taking credit for breaching a water treatment plant in Pennsylvania.
Their ability to infiltrate into industrial control systems and possibly disrupt or worse, cause damage to our infrastructure is very, very concerning.
According to the Beaver County newspaper, the Municipal Water Authority in Aliquippa says hackers partially took control of a substation Saturday, shutting down a pump that supplies drinking water in Beaver County. A message appeared on a pump reading, "You have been hacked. Every equipment made in Israel is Cyber Avenger's legal target." Water pressure in some areas was reportedly affected before workers enabled a backup system. The Cyber Avengers hacking group is also accused of targeting 10 water treatment plants in Israel since the war against Hamas began.
The Cyber Avengers are a hacking collective that is associated with Iran. They also are supportive of Palestine, and ever since the conflict began, we have seen them proactively targeting anything associated with Israel.
Experts say the Cyber Avengers group is becoming increasingly sophisticated. Federal authorities reportedly believe the group successfully hacked 4 water treatment plants on the East Coast in recent days. All of them use software developed by an Israeli-owned company.
This group has expressed that this is just the beginning, and we should be vigilant that future attacks might occur where they see opportunities.
Well, as it turns out, this was just one of the multiple organizations breached in the United States by Iran-affiliated hackers. This was confirmed not just by the FBI, but the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, and even Israel's National Cyber Directorate, as their attacks zeroed in on industrial control devices that are Israeli-made. This equipment that we weren't told of before is also being used in other industries, namely energy, food and beverage manufacturing, and healthcare. A couple of things that we need a lot of this stuff on a daily freaking basis. And experts are saying that many water utilities aren't even paying attention to their cybersecurity, meaning that it is possible that attacks have happened right under our noses, then maybe not even knowing that it happened. It's also worth noting that these devices weren't accessed physically, okay? These devices were supposedly publicly accessed to the internet with default passwords, so basically getting into their systems was easy as finding a default password on the internet. I guess this is why some senators are raising the alarm and saying that if this could happen in Pennsylvania, it could also happen anywhere else in the United States. I mean, it's entirely possible given that we know that for a fact that there's over 150 different groups out there that are trying to disrupt different services and company operations by leaking information online and collecting user data that they can use for future attacks. But you might be thinking, it's probably not that bad, right? Well, when you take into consideration the cyber attacks that hit multiple US states, then no, it's actually not that bad. It's actually worse. Like, what if it affects the water system in California, in Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, just a few places that experience drought throughout the year? But a good question here is, what are they doing to try and protect our infrastructure? Will we work with other countries who want to, avoid these attacks as well? And will there be no consequences to these attacks? Let's hear what the White House has to say about it.
And when you talk about next steps with partners, is one possibility setting up some kind of escort service? You talked about the USS Carney that responded. Is there a possibility that the U.S. would partner with other militaries in the region to escort these ships as they go through this sensitive region?
We have maritime task forces elsewhere to deal with threats to shipping. It's true in the Gulf. It's true off the coast of Somalia with respect to piracy. And we are in talks with other countries about maritime task force of sorts involving the ships from partner nations alongside the United States in ensuring safe passage of ships in the Red Sea. Those talks are ongoing as we speak. I don't have anything formal to announce, but that would be a natural part of the comprehensive response to what we are seeing here. Yeah.
Thank you. Continuing on that, you said these attacks were fully enabled by Iran. Can you talk about what are the consequences or what the consequences will be for Iran?
As I said, we have seen this unfold over the course of the day yesterday. We are taking this time to consult with allies and partners because we believe this is not just an issue for the United States. These ships were not U.S. commercial ships. They were from a variety of nations. This is an issue for the entire world, for every country that relies upon maritime commerce to sustain their economy. And by the way, that is every country. And that's why you saw the statement come out of the UN Security Council at the end of last week. So we will take the time to do the appropriate consultation, build a response that involves as much buy-in from as many countries as possible, and then we'll have more to report once we've done those consultations.
I'm not sure how many people have to sign off on it, but I'm guessing that we should expect more attacks. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it is the reality. I mean, he just asked point blank if there's going to be consequences for these attacks, and he's basically said that they're going to talk about it. That sounds like a no to me without saying no. It's like seeing your house on fire from the outside and saying, should we call the fire department now or later? But hey, I'm just trying to look out for Americans here, here at home, and even those overseas, as we don't know how far these attacks will actually go. So tell me, do you still feel safe being here at home as an American citizen? And do you think that the White House is not doing enough to set our minds at ease? Make sure you share your thoughts down below. And before I go, I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for liking the video. I'm gonna catch you guys on the next update.